Under a sprawling banyan tree, the Buddha assembled his disciples for a teaching. His serene presence calmed the eager audience. His eyes softened as he began. Imagine a cup resting in your hands. Disciples. The disciples listened intently, curious about the direction of his wisdom. When the cup is empty, it is open to receive, he continued. Yet, when overfilled, it is unfit for use. The soft rustle of leaves punctuated the profound silence among his followers. A mind, like this cup, must remain open to absorb knowledge, the Buddha stated. When cluttered with judgment, it cannot grow. He raised an empty cup from beside him, its simplicity reflecting the sunlight. This cup contains nothing but holds endless potential, he said, gesturing gracefully. Let it guide your path. Ananda, the devoted disciple, bowed and asked, Master, how can we ensure our minds remain like this empty cup? The Buddha's gaze rested upon Ananda as he spoke. By practicing humility and listening, you create the space for understanding. The gathered disciples nodded, their minds attuned to the metaphor. The Buddha elaborated, in daily life, many speak without hearing and act without understanding. Emptiness fosters wisdom. Fullness breeds ignorance. His tone was steady, imbued with a calming resonance. In the world of work, do not let ego block your cup. A breeze carried his words to the surrounding stillness. A merchant approached with folded hands and interrupted reverently. Master, how does one balance listening and decision-making in trade? The Buddha invited him to sit and join the circle. His words continued with gentle precision. Balance, dear merchant, begins with patience and grows through discernment. The Buddha returned to the metaphor. Holding the cup aloft, patience fills this cup drop by drop with wisdom, not haste. The merchant nodded, his face a reflection of clarity and gratitude. The Buddha glanced at the disciples, his gaze steady. Impatience spills wisdom. Mindful presence gathers it. Kasyapa, a disciple known for his thoughtful queries, spoke, Master, is not silence also a form of listening? The Buddha's smile widened as he replied, Indeed, silence hears the unsaid and reveals truth beyond words. His response stirred a thoughtful pause among the disciples. In the distance, a sparrow sang a gentle melody, complementing the teaching's serenity. You must cultivate silence as much as you cultivate speech, the Buddha advised. Both hold the key to insight. His words resonated as sunlight filtered through the banyan tree's dense canopy. When a leader listens, they plant seeds of trust and growth, the Buddha explained, observing his attentive audience. In both life and trade, listening bridges division and fosters unity. The disciples nodded, absorbing the depth of his words. The Buddha's expression grew reflective as he continued. The emptiest cup holds the purest potential for nourishment. His tone held a quiet strength, flowing like a tranquil river. What will you do with your cup, dear disciples? He asked. Ananda responded earnestly, Master, I will strive to empty my cup each day, so it remains ready to receive. The Buddha's eyes gleamed with approval at his disciples' vow. Such is the way, Ananda, he said, to journey toward enlightenment. The sunlight shifted, casting a dappled pattern on the assembly, as if nature applauded the lesson. In your professions, may you lead with open minds and listening hearts, the Buddha concluded. He placed the cup upon the ground, a symbol of wisdom left open for all. A disciple inquired, Master, what if the voices filling the cup are filled with conflict? The Buddha rested his gaze upon the questioner thoughtfully. Conflict is the storm. An empty cup withstands its turbulence. His words encouraged reflection among the group. You must not fear the storm. Instead, respect its force and learn to navigate through it, the Buddha elaborated. An empty mind is not weak. It is resilient, open to reconciliation. His voice carried assurance, comforting like the tree's shade. Master, How can a leader in commerce reconcile conflicting advice and opinions? Another disciple asked. The Buddha looked at him kindly before responding. Through discernment, dear one, and by listening without attachment to a single view, he explained. Discernment is the compass guiding the cup to balance. The Buddha gestured toward a river visible beyond the tree line. Observe the river's flow. Harmonious and steadfast, he said. It teaches us to adapt, to integrate what serves the journey. His disciples turned their gazes toward the river, finding wisdom even in the landscape. With discernment, choose which drops to hold within your cup, the Buddha continued. Each drop influences the vessel's capacity. His teachings flowed as naturally as the nearby river. A leader's wisdom lies in nurturing the balance between acceptance and intention. As the discussion continued, a serene calm enveloped the gathering. Master, does holding an empty cup not also invite vulnerability? A disciple asked. The Buddha's face lit with understanding before responding. Vulnerability is not weakness. It is openness, an invitation to growth. His words anchored a deeper tranquility among the listeners. In vulnerability, you connect to others, he explained, allowing compassion to fill your vessel. The Buddha's gentle voice seemed to harmonize with the rustling leaves around them. Practice compassion not only toward others but also toward yourselves, he emphasized. This ensures your cup remains resilient and ready. The lesson struck a chord, fostering a contemplative silence among the disciples. When leaders practice compassion, they build trust and harmony, he added. The sun dipped lower in the sky, casting golden hues over the banyan tree's expanse. The Buddha's voice softened but retained its clarity. This is the way of the wise. My dear disciples, he said, keep your cup open, and wisdom shall flow. The disciples bowed their heads in reverence, each reflecting on the profound guidance shared. May your actions embody this truth, the Buddha concluded, both in your work and in your life. His final words resonated long after, lingering like the scent of blossoms in the air. Another day, the Buddha called his disciples to the riverbank, where the gentle current mirrored his tranquil demeanor. The serene flow of water captivated everyone as they gathered closer. Awaiting his words, he began, behold the river, disciples. It flows tirelessly, adapting to every twist and obstacle in its path. The disciples gazed at the river, its harmony a reflection of nature's quiet wisdom. The Buddha gestured toward the current. 3 merchants attempted to cross this very river under different circumstances, he said. Their fates differed greatly. With deliberate calm, the Buddha narrated. The first merchant, hasty and impetuous, plunged into the river, fighting its powerful currents. His cargo, weighed down by his ambition, was lost as the river overwhelmed him. The disciples listened attentively, their expressions reflecting the gravity of the merchant's choices. The second merchant, overwhelmed by fear, stood paralyzed at the shore. The Buddha continued. His hesitation became his obstacle, and he achieved nothing, leaving his goals unfulfilled. The wind rustled through the reeds as the Buddha paused, his eyes scanning the faces of his disciples. The third merchant, wise and observant, studied the river's nature. He resumed. He built a raft using available resources and let the current guide him. A faint smile graced the Buddha's lips as he spoke of the third merchant. He reached the other side, his cargo intact, and succeeded without fighting the natural flow. The disciples reflected silently, their minds seeking the lesson within the tale. These merchants symbolize the approaches we take in navigating challenges, the Buddha explained. To fight or fear the flow is to resist life's currents. Ananda, ever curious, asked, Master, how does one learn to adapt like the third merchant? The Buddha turned his gaze to Ananda, his voice calm. Through observation, patience, and harmony, one learns to move with the current, not against it. The river's gentle murmur complemented the Buddha's profound wisdom, creating a rhythm of serenity. In corporate life, leaders often face turbulent waters, he said. Adaptation transforms challenges into opportunities. A merchant seated among the disciples raised his hand respectfully. Master, how can one discern between resisting and adapting? He inquired. The Buddha regarded him kindly. Discernment arises from mindfulness and reflection, he replied. It is the compass guiding us toward harmonious action. The merchant nodded, inspired by the clarity of the Buddha's words. Study the currents of your surroundings. As the third merchant did, the Buddha advised. Let them inform your journey. Sariputta, a thoughtful disciple, asked, Master, does adaptation mean surrendering to every circumstance? The Buddha's expression remained steady. Adaptation is not surrender. Sariputta, he clarified. It is the wisdom to choose the path of least resistance while maintaining integrity. The sunlight sparkled on the river's surface, reflecting the inner illumination sparked by the Buddha's teaching. When a leader adapts wisely, they turn adversity into progress, the Buddha continued. They build bridges where others see barriers. His disciples absorbed the depth of his words, their minds contemplating the power of adaptation. Remember, disciples, the Buddha said, the river does not fight the rocks, nor does it halt its flow. The gentle rustle of nearby leaves echoed the natural harmony of his message. The river adjusts, carving its path over time, embodying perseverance and flexibility, the Buddha added. Kasyapa, his voice tinged with curiosity, asked, Master, how does one balance personal goals with the need to adapt? The Buddha's gaze softened as he answered. By aligning your goals with the greater flow, you find harmony within the pursuit. His words resonated with a profound truth, prompting thoughtful silence among the group. Incorporating mindfulness, humility, and observation nurtures this balance, the Buddha said. The merchant from earlier spoke again. Master, how does one build the strength to navigate life's rivers? He asked. The Buddha replied, by cultivating patience, resilience, and faith in the process. Your raft becomes sturdy. His voice carried assurance, a beacon of guidance for his audience. As the third merchant showed, wisdom lies in preparation and adaptation, the Buddha emphasized. Master, how does one inspire others to adapt in times of change? A disciple asked. The Buddha's eyes twinkled as he replied. Lead by example, embodying calm and understanding. Others will follow a steady hand. The Buddha continued. A leader's strength inspires, just as the river's flow shapes the land around it. His words seem to ripple like the water itself. By embracing change and guiding others gently, you cultivate unity and progress, the Buddha concluded. The disciples nodded in agreement. As the sun descended, casting a golden glow, the Buddha's presence illuminated the gathering. You are all merchants on life's river, he said. May you navigate wisely, with hearts open to adaptation. The disciples bowed deeply, their gratitude evident in the reverence of their gestures. May your rafts be sturdy, your wisdom profound, and your journeys fulfilling, the Buddha said. A blessing for all. The tranquil sound of the river accompanied the group's quiet reflection, a testament to the harmony of the Buddha's teachings. The lesson lingered in their hearts, a guiding current for the rivers of their lives. Another day, the Buddha assembled his disciples in the quiet of the evening, beneath a vast starlit sky. His presence brought serenity as he began lighting a small oil lamp. The flickering flame captivated the disciples, its dance both fragile and resilient. Observe this flame, the Buddha said. It embodies the virtue of equanimity amidst the winds. The disciples leaned closer, their attention fixed on the lamp's glow as the Buddha continued speaking. Equanimity, like this flame, remains steady despite turbulence, unshaken by external forces. The gentle rustle of the night wind emphasized his message. In life and work, challenges and pressures are like these winds. Testing the strength of the flame, Ananda, seated closest to the lamp, asked, "Master, how can one cultivate equanimity in the face of overwhelming trials?" The Buddha's gaze softened as he replied, "Through mindfulness, dear Ananda, and by grounding oneself in the present moment's truth." His words instilled a quiet contemplation. Among the disciples, a merchant in attendance spoke, his voice tinged with curiosity. "Master, how does equanimity guide us in decisions affecting others?" The Buddha looked at the merchant with kindness. Equanimity tempers decisions with clarity, ensuring they are free from the distractions of anger or greed. He held the lamp closer. The flame steadied despite his movements. Leadership demands the stillness of equanimity, he explained. It enables balance amidst conflicting needs and emotions. The merchant bowed slightly, his respect for the teaching evident in his gesture. Sariputta posed another question. "Master, does equanimity mean indifference to the suffering of others?" The Buddha's eyes reflected compassion as he responded, "Equanimity is not indifference but profound balance, arising from understanding impermanence." His words carried a depth that resonated across the group. In corporate life, the Buddha continued, leaders often face storms of conflict, competition, and failure. The disciples nodded, relating his wisdom to their understanding of leadership. Equanimity allows one to endure these storms without faltering. Like the flame in the wind, the sound of a distant owl added to the night's tranquil ambiance. "Master, how can one remain steadfast during personal loss?" a disciple asked, his tone pained. The Buddha acknowledged the question with a solemn nod. "By embracing impermanence, dear one, and finding solace in the transient nature of all things." His voice carried a soothing assurance as he elaborated. Impermanence is not a source of sorrow but a reminder to treasure the present fully. The disciple's expression softened, his pain gradually yielding to understanding. The flame of equanimity burns brightest when we accept life's fleeting nature, the Buddha concluded. Kasyapa interjected, his thoughtful curiosity evident. "Master, how can equanimity inspire others in difficult times?" The Buddha's face lit with a faint smile as he replied, "By embodying calmness, you become a pillar of strength for those who waver." The disciples reflected on his words, finding parallels to their own experiences. A leader who remains steady inspires confidence and unity, the Buddha continued. Their equanimity becomes a beacon for others. The lamp's glow illuminated the group, symbolizing the light of wisdom shared. The merchant spoke again, seeking practical insight. "Master, how can one achieve equanimity amidst constant change in business?" The Buddha's response was measured and deliberate. By anchoring oneself in mindfulness and adapting with grace, one achieves harmony amidst chaos. His disciples listened attentively as the lesson deepened their understanding. Mindfulness roots the mind in the present, shielding it from the storms of anxiety and regret, the Buddha said. Adapting with grace allows for resilience. Like water conforming to the shape of its vessel, the interplay of light and shadow from the lamp accentuated his message's poetic nature. "Master, how does meditation aid in cultivating equanimity?" a disciple inquired. The Buddha's expression grew serene as he answered. Meditation centers the mind, training it to observe without attachment or aversion. He demonstrated with a moment of still silence, the flame steady in the background. Through meditation, the mind becomes as unshaken as this lamp's flame, the Buddha explained. His disciples mirrored his silence, experiencing the peaceful stillness of the moment. The night deepened, wrapping the gathering in an even greater quietude. Equanimity also arises from compassion, the Buddha said. Resuming his teaching, Compassion softens the heart while equanimity steadies it, creating harmony. His voice carried a tone both gentle and resolute, like the wind caressing the flame. A disciple asked, "Master, is it possible to balance equanimity and passion for one's goals?" The Buddha's reply came with a knowing smile. Passion guided by equanimity remains focused, free from the distractions of extremes. He continued, "Such passion achieves its aims with a clear mind and pure intention." The lesson resonated deeply with the group, their expressions reflecting understanding and inspiration. The fire of passion must be tempered by the stillness of equanimity, the Buddha said. Another disciple asked, "Master, how can equanimity be maintained when surrounded by turmoil?" The Buddha regarded him thoughtfully before responding. Through self-awareness, understanding the source of turmoil, and choosing not to feed its flames, the lamp's flickering flames seem to echo the Buddha's metaphor. Equanimity is the ability to observe without losing oneself to chaos, the Buddha explained. It is the foundation of wisdom and peace. His words left a profound impact on the gathering. The moonlight, reflecting off the trees, complemented the serene glow of the lamp. "Master, can equanimity coexist with ambition?" a merchant asked. The Buddha's expression conveyed thoughtful affirmation as he replied, "Ambition balanced by equanimity leads to meaningful and ethical pursuits." His disciples nodded in agreement, recognizing the wisdom of his response. When ambition is guided by equanimity, it serves a purpose greater than the self, the Buddha continued. It aligns with the harmony of all beings. The lamp burns steadily, its light enduring against the night's chill. The flame embodies both fragility and strength, the Buddha said. Addressing the group, equanimity, too, combines gentleness with resilience. His disciples absorbed the profound symbolism, their hearts illuminated by the lesson. The Buddha concluded, "May your lives be guided by the steady flame of equanimity, shining through both darkness and storm." His disciples bowed deeply, their respect for their teacher's wisdom evident in their gestures. The oil lamp flickered once more before the Buddha extinguished it, leaving the group in peaceful reflection. The absence of the lamp's light heightened their awareness of the teaching's brilliance. The Buddha's words lingered, a radiant flame within the hearts of his disciples. Thank you for watching. Buddha's teachings are always with you. Subscribe to our channel and we will see you in the next video.